7 evening habits of people who manage stress well, according to psychology. Let's be honest, stress doesn't vanish the moment we leave work or finish our daytime to-do list. Often, it follows us right into the evening, sometimes creeping in when we're trying to unwind. But for those who handle life's pressures gracefully, nighttime is less about worrying and more about refueling for tomorrow. They recognize that what they do in those final hours can make or break their peace of mind. Below are 7 evening habits that people with strong stress management skills typically follow. If you're looking to improve your own wind-down routine, consider giving a few of these a try. 1. They create a buffer between work and home life. Even if they have a demanding job or a busy schedule, people who manage stress, don't carry those responsibilities straight through the front door. They carve out a mental transition. Maybe a short walk, a calming playlist in the car, or a few minutes of deep breathing the moment they get home. That buffer helps the mind shift gears from productive mode to rest mode. It can be tempting to check just one more email, or jot down a quick to-do for tomorrow. But letting work leak into personal time weighs heavily on the psyche. In fact, research on recovery from work demands shows that psychological detachment from professional tasks is crucial for preventing burnout. A small ritual, like hanging your coat, brewing tea, or stretching, can signal the brain that it's safe to switch off the day's hustle. 2. They plan for restful sleep. It sounds obvious, but consistently good sleepers rarely happen by accident. People who manage stress effectively approach bedtime like a priority, not an afterthought. Instead of scrolling through their phone under the covers, they set up a calm environment, dimming lights, silencing unnecessary notifications, perhaps reading a book or listening to soothing music. One key aspect is consistency. Researchers often point out that a stable sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up around the same times, helps the body regulate its internal clock. When you're chronically stressed, your body already feels off-kilter. Establishing a bedtime routine lets your nervous system know that the day's demands are winding down. The best part is that it can be something as simple as a warm shower or 10 minutes of gentle yoga. 3. They reflect, but don't ruminate. There's a subtle difference between reflecting on the day to learn from it and spiraling into anxious ruminations. People who handle stress often do a quick mental recap. What went well today? What challenged me? Is there anything I can change or plan for tomorrow? Then they move on. It's a purposeful mini-review, similar to journaling, that fosters clarity without fixating on every flaw or regret. When you ruminate, you get stuck reliving stressful moments, feeling them intensify instead of dissipate. That tension can sabotage both mood and sleep. A brief reflection helps the mind process events, but it's essential to finish with a sense of closure, like a mental, thanks for the lesson, see you tomorrow attitude. This way, you avoid dragging unresolved angst into your rest hours. 4. They engage in activities that actually relax them. Notice the word actually here. People who are good at stress management choose wind-down activities that genuinely refresh them. Whether that's reading, crafting, or having an unhurried conversation with a loved one. They don't just default to doom scrolling on social media or binging random shows that leave them feeling empty. Carl Rogers once emphasized congruence, meaning living in line with what truly feels nourishing, rather than what simply passes the time. If watching your favorite comedy truly lifts your spirits, that's fine. But if you always finish Netflix sessions feeling groggy or unsatisfied, ask yourself if it's truly helping you decompress. Maybe you'd feel more rejuvenated by drawing, writing in a journal, or playing a game that sparks laughter and connection. 5. They set boundaries with technology. There's a reason so many stress experts advise unplugging at night. Electronics, especially phones, often keep your mind on high alert. Whether it's the glow of the screen disrupting melatonin production or the emotional roller coaster of social media, too much tech can fuel nighttime anxiety rather than reduce it. People who manage stress effectively typically have rules like no phone in bed or no social media after 9 p.m. They understand that mindlessly scrolling can open the floodgates to negative news or comparisons that raise stress hormones. In the same breath, they might use helpful tools like meditation apps, briefly and with intention, to calm down. Thus, it's not about demonizing all technology, but using it wisely. 6. They nurture social or emotional connections. While some might interpret good stress management as solitary self-care, many who navigate stress best do so by leaning on human connections. If they live with family or a partner, they carve out quality time. Maybe chatting about the day's highlights or having a quick cuddle session. If they live alone, they might hop on a call with a close friend or engage in an online community that brings genuine positivity. Daniel Goleman's research on emotional intelligence highlights how meaningful interactions lower cortisol levels. By sharing a laugh, exchanging supportive words, or merely being present with someone you trust, you're reminding your brain that you're not alone in your challenges. Emotional support can transform a tense day into a more resilient tomorrow, ensuring stress doesn't fester behind a stoic facade. 7. They let go of perfection before bedtime. People who manage stress well recognize that not everything can be perfectly wrapped up by day's end. Maybe there's an email unanswered or a chore incomplete. Trying to tick off every last task, fueling the illusion that if I get it all done, I won't be stressed, usually leads to mental exhaustion. They're comfortable saying, "This can wait until tomorrow," trusting that rest makes them more capable of tackling unfinished business. That acceptance can be tough for high achievers. But a hallmark of stress resilience is acknowledging limitations. Instead of fixating on what isn't done, they focus on what they did accomplish and what truly must happen next. This self-compassionate approach ties neatly into a healthier relationship with productivity, one that values mental well-being over incessant striving for an unattainable night of complete closure. The bottom line: these 7 habits aren't magical cures for stress. Life will always throw curveballs. But for those who manage stress effectively, the evening hours become a sanctuary rather than a battleground. The secret lies in intentional choices. They carefully shape their nighttime environment, guard against unproductive overthinking, and engage in routines that fortify both mind and body. If these practices resonate, but aren't part of your routine yet, no need for radical changes overnight. Pick 1 or 2 habits that feel doable. Maybe shutting down screens earlier, or carving out a short reflection. See how they impact your evening. Ultimately, a restful evening is one of the most potent antidotes to chronic stress. And it's within your reach if you're willing to prioritize it.